Hello YouTube, it's me, I'm back. Remember me? Who's that, you say? It's me, Fire in the Mines. It's been a while since I've talked on my YouTube channel. I can't remember how long ago now. Well, last year probably. I've been playing around with AI, so my apologies for that. For my recent uploads. There may be a few newbies here. My last video with the Russian asset or useful idiot, George Galloway. Anyway, I've been wrong many times. And this is one of the reasons I deleted a lot of my old videos. And anyway, times have changed. I started uploading in 2015. Long time ago now. 9 years ago. So this was before Trump got in, but it was during the whole run-up to the elections in 2016, 2015 in the USA. And so I was quite outspoken then against the Trump train, and I was talking out against people on YouTube who were promoting him. And I started seeing patterns in propaganda. I've always been interested in propaganda, really. Going back to when I was a kid, I've always been fascinated by espionage. And that led on into my later life, being interested in conspiracies, because obviously espionage and conspiracies go hand in hand. So there's that. In 2015, I noticed that there was a connection with the Trump train and Russian propaganda, and I started to vocalize that quite profusely back in the day. No one was interested, mind you. No one really watches my channel. I'm not hardly. I mean, I can get some views sometimes, but anyway, I'm not too bothered about that. It would be nice to have, a big following on YouTube. But back in the day, I got really peeved off of it. With the YouTube rules, I was getting flagged and struck, and I had channels shut down and yada yada, all of that. So this is I think it's my 4th YouTube channel. I got a couple others floating about that I played about with, and then I changed the name of my channel here to Fire in the Mines. Now, Fire in the Mines is a reference to a book called Fire in the Minds of Men, and it's the history of the revolutionary philosophy, going back to the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution. It's a hard read. To be honest, I've not read the whole book from start to finish. I've used it as a reference book, but it did inspire me, and I really like the name Fire in the Mines. And the basic concept of Fire in the Mines in the book is, if you can control the mob, you can influence a revolution. And that's been done time and time again. Now, this whole world is very murky. Conspiracies, espionage. And, you can get lost in that rabbit hole. There are many rabbit holes in the conversation. Going back years and years, there was a popular thing on YouTube, the Red Pill Revolution. The thing is with the Red Pill Revolution, if you look at anyone parroting Red Pill, usually they're spouting Russian propaganda. Oh yeah. So, I think you can decode the red, to be Russia. Yeah, so that's my take on that. Anyway, I'm not going to prattle on too much. Thought I'd just do a quick intro. This video is going to be called The Trump Factor. And I am going to give to you now 50 connections or links between Donald Trump and Putin or Russia. So here we go, let's dive in. So, connection number 1. In 1984, Russian gangsters began to launder money by buying and selling apartment units in Trump Tower. Connection 2. In 1986, Mr. Trump was courted by Soviet diplomats who suggested that a bright future awaited him in Moscow. Connection 3. In 1987, the Soviet state paid for Mr. Trump to visit Moscow, putting him up in a suite that was certainly bugged. Connection 4. In 2006, Russians and other citizens of the former Soviet Union financed Trump Soho, that's a hotel in New York, granting Mr. Trump 18% of the profits, although he put up no money himself. Connection number 5. In 2008, the Russian oligarch Dmitry Rybolovlev in effect gave Mr. Trump $55 million in an unusual real estate deal. In 2016, Mr. Rybolovlev appeared in places where Mr. Trump campaigned. Connection number 6. In 2008, Donald Trump Jr. explained that the Trump Organization was dependent on Russia. 2010. The Russian propaganda server Russia Today helped American white supremacists to spread the lie that Barack Obama was not born in the United States. In 2011, Mr. Trump became the most prominent backer of this lie. Connection number 8. Mr. Trump was endorsed by the Russian political technologist Konstantin Rykov in 2012. Connection number 9. In April 2013, the FBI busted 2 gambling rings inside Trump Tower, which, according to authorities, were run by a Russian citizen. The US attorney who ordered the raid was later fired by Mr. Trump. Connection number 10. Mr. Trump expressed the wish on 18th of June 2013 to be Mr. Putin's best friend. Connection number 11. Mr. Trump was paid $20 million by Russians to spectate at a beauty pageant in summer 2013. The man who did the work, Aras Agalarov, would later help to arrange a meeting between the Trump campaign and Russians. Connection number 12. In summer 2014, a Russian advance team was sent to the United States to plan the cyber war of 2016. Connection number 13. In 2014, Mr. Putin's advisor, Sergei Glazyev, anticipated determination of the American elite. Where was I? And right, so I've lost where I am. Oh, that's so annoying. Here we go. Connection 14. In 2014, a Russian think tank, the Izborsk Club, outlined the principles of a new information war to be fought against the United States. Connection number 15. Steve Bannon met with Russian energy executives in 2014 and 2015 and tested messages about Putin in American voters. He would later run Mr. Trump's campaign. Connection number 16. In late 2014, Russia penetrated the email networks of the White House, the Department of State, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff. This was Cozy Bear. Connection number 17. When Mr. Trump announced his candidacy in June 2015, Russia's Internet Research Agency created and staffed a new American department. Connection number 18. In October 2015, while running for president, Mr. Trump signed a letter of intent to have Russians build a tower in Moscow and put his name on it. The Trump Organization planned to give its penthouse to Mr. Putin as a present. Connection number 19. In October 2015, Mr. Trump tweeted, "Putin loves Donald Trump." Connection number 20. Felix Sater, who had brokered deals between the Trump Organization and Russian investors, wrote in November 2015 that our boy can become president of the United States and we can engineer it. Connection number 21. Mr. Trump was endorsed in late 2015 by the think tank of the pro-Kremlin oligarch Konstantin Malavev. Connection number 22. In early 2016, the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee of the Russian Parliament said that Mr. Trump could drive the Western locomotive right off the rails. Connection number 23. In February 2016, Mr. Putin's cyber advisor boasted, "We are on the verge of having something in the information arena that will allow us to talk to the Americans as equals." Connection number 24. Russian military intelligence penetrated the Democratic National Committee in March 2016, as well as personal accounts of leading Democrats. Stolen emails were then used to discredit Hillary Clinton and Mr. Trump. This was Cozy Bear. Connection number 25. George Papadopoulos, a foreign policy advisor of the Trump campaign, is told by Russians in April 2016 that dirt on Hillary Clinton is available. He then met with Mr. Trump. He was later convicted of lying to the FBI. Connection number 26. A Russian military intelligence officer bragged in May 2016 that his organization would take revenge on Hillary Clinton on behalf of Mr. Putin. Connection number 27. Carter Page, an advisor of the Trump campaign, traveled to Moscow in July 2016. He then worked with success to make the Republican platform friendlier to Russia at the Republican National Convention. Connection number 28. General Michael Flynn, an advisor of the Trump campaign and then Mr. Trump's national security advisor, called himself General Misha and followed that the excuse me. Right, let me start that one again. General Michael Flynn, an advisor of the Trump campaign and then Mr. Trump's national security advisor, called himself General Misha and followed and retweeted Russian material from 5 Russian accounts. He later confessed to a federal crime. Connection number 29. Mr. Trump requested on the 17th of June 2016 that Russia search for Hillary Clinton's emails. That same day, Russian military intelligence began a phishing campaign to do just that. Connection number 30. Some 22,000 emails stolen by Russia were released right before the Democratic National Convention. This was Cozy Bear. Connection number 31. Thanks to Russia's Internet Research Agency, 126 million Americans saw Russian propaganda designed to aid Mr. Trump in 2016. Almost none of them were aware that this was happening. Connection number 32. Over the course of 2016, some 50,000 Russian bots and some 4,000 human accounts exploited Twitter to influence American public opinion on behalf of Mr. Trump. Almost no Americans were aware of this. Connection number 33. In 2016, Russia sought to break into the electoral websites of at least 39 American states. Connection number 34. Throughout 2016, Russian elites referred to Mr. Trump as our president. Connection number 35. Throughout 2016, Russian journalists were instructed to portray Mr. Trump positively and Hillary Clinton negatively. Connection number 36. In June 2016, the leaders of Trump campaign, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump Jr. and Paul Manafort, met with Russians in Trump Tower as a broker of the meeting called it the Russian government's support for Trump. Connection number 37. Mr. Trump's campaign manager Paul Manafort resigned in August 2016 after news broke that he had received $12.7 million in cash from a pro-Russian Ukrainian politician. Mr. Manafort was later convicted of crimes. Connection number 38. When Mr. Trump seemed to be in trouble when a tape of his advocacy of sexual assault was published on 7th October 2016, emails stolen by Russia were released to change the subject. Connection number 39. Mr. Trump personally encouraged his followers to explore the emails that Russia had stolen in tweets of 31st October and 4th November 2016. Connection number 40. In the months between Mr. Trump's nomination and the Republican candidate and the election, anonymous limited liability offshore companies furiously purchased his properties. Let me repeat that. In the months between Mr. Trump's nomination as the Republican candidate and the election, anonymous limited liability companies furiously purchased his properties. Connection number 41. Mr. Trump was accorded the victory in the presidential election in November 2016. He was given a standing ovation in the Russian parliament. Connection number 42. After Trump was accorded the victory in the presidential election, he called Mr. Putin to be congratulated. Connection number 43. In December 2006, before the inauguration, Michael Flynn allegedly met with Russian officials to discuss Russia-friendly policy. One of his aides explained, Russia has just thrown the USA elections to Mr. Trump. Connection number 44. After Mr. Trump's victory, the leading man of the Russian media, Dmitry Kiselev, celebrated the end of human rights and democracy as US policy. Connection number 45. In May 2017, Mr. Trump fired James Comey for taking part in an investigation of Russia's cyber war against the United States, and then bragged about doing so to Russian officials in the Oval Office. Connection number 46. In June 2017, Mr. Putin essentially admitted that Russia had intervened. Right, let me start that again. In June 2017, Mr. Putin essentially admitted that Russia had intervened in the election, saying that he had never denied that Russian volunteers had carried out a cyber war on behalf of Mr. Trump. Connection number 47. In June 2017, Mr. Trump ordered the firing of Robert Mueller and had been asked to carry out an investigation of Russian interference. The White House counsel refused to carry out the order. Russia then began a campaign to slander Mr. Mueller. Connection number 48. In September 2017, a Russian parliamentarian said on national television that the American security services slept through as Russia chose the US president. Connection number 49. Mr. Mueller's investigation led to the indictment of Russia's Internet Research Agency, several Russian military intelligence officers and multiple associates and campaign officials of Mr. Trump. It also produced a report that we have yet to be allowed to read. Connection number 50. In June 2018, Mr. Putin confirmed before the international press that he had wanted Mr. Trump to win. At that same summit in Helsinki, Mr. Trump said that he trusted Mr. Putin more than his own advisors. So there you go, 50 connections or links to Donald Trump. I think 98% of those are facts. There's a couple allegations, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, folks. And another part of this scandal was back in 2015. Here in the UK, we had the build up to Brexit. Now, a company called Cambridge Analytica at that time compiled a database of all US citizens on social media and all UK citizens on social media, and then micro-targeted those people with Russian propaganda or Brexit propaganda or pro-Trump propaganda. So effectively, we were all manipulated at that time on the internet. We were micro-targeted and funneled into or with Russian propaganda. So there it is, folks. I'm going to wrap this up. I wanted to do a quick video. That's not bad, actually. I think that I've done that quite quickly. So yeah, there you go. Don't get gaslit, and watch out for parroting Russian propaganda. Anyway, heads up. Have a good day. See you next time, or you can listen to me next time. Bye for now.
Welcome to Fire in the Minds.